Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of the CW's The Originals. This can be seen Season 3, Episode 13, which was called Heart-Shaped Box. And once again, I apologize for the lateness, but as I've gone over pretty much every video lately, work schedule and trying to divide that time, with spending time with my girlfriend and other little things I like to do during the day, it gets kind of rough, but I still like to get out the reviews when I can. Still like to watch my shows when I can, so I still try to do it as soon as possible for you guys and for myself, but it can get muddled, and I just try to do it as soon as I can, so I apologize for the lateness, but it is what it is. It's life, unfortunately, for me right now. But, yeah. So, overall, pretty good episode of The Originals. This season still isn't, great to me yet, but it's starting to get a little bit better. It's starting to get me into it a little bit more. And this episode was one of the better ones lately, I think. I don't think it was as good as a couple of the others recently, but this one definitely had my attention. Of course, we had Klaus and Elijah on the hunt for Aurora in this episode. I was really hoping we'd get more finality in this episode, but, the promos, they deceive us sometimes. We didn't really get too much closure with that, like we thought we were going to, but the hunt for it was still pretty well done, and we got some good moments out of it anyway. But I just want to see Aurora die at this point. I think most of us do. It's starting to drag a little bit with that story, but the Strix are starting to become part of the bigger picture, so it'll probably turn into more instead of just all about her at this point, but still. I still want to see Aurora die soon, and I know she will probably by the final episode of the season, but, come on. I just don't want to get to the point of where Klaus finally gets revenge on her, but yet it's not satisfying because it's been so long. But no, I have faith in how they're going to do it. I think it'll still be very gratifying when we finally do see that occur. It kind of opens with a sort of a funny moment of Klaus, being pissed off at a cop who he compelled to have him and the rest of his men searching for Aurora. Elijah tells him to drop him when Klaus does, so the guy lands and probably breaks his ankles. Of course, Elijah says, "That's not what I meant." So I thought that was kind of funny. Of course, I have Freya, working around the clock to try and find Aurora. Aurora ends up finding her. She sees that she's still in New Orleans, and she turns around, and of course, Aurora's there. And Aurora captures Freya, of course. And I know Aurora's a fairly powerful vampire. She's, of course, she's still not nearly as old as, Elijah and Klaus and stuff. But, she's not too far off. So it makes sense that she'd be a threat to Freya here. But I still think ever since Season 2 ended, they've kind of, underpowered Freya a little bit. I just feel like the Freya we met in Season 2 would be capable of more than what we're seeing of her in Season 3. I don't know if it's me. Apparently not, because a lot of people are wanting more Freya right now, me included. But I was happy she made it out of this episode, and we do get some good moments with her a little bit later. I just feel like Freya is more powerful than what they're showing right now. But either way, I still really like the actress and the character. I like that they're keeping her around. I just don't think Freya should really be a damsel in distress like this, but, I guess it's gotta happen. Davina and Aya end up, of course, the current, sort of leader of the Strix in a way. She and Davina work out this deal that she can resurrect Cole, she can bring him back permanently without this weird decaying hand thing timing it all, if Cole helps him with certain information. And this wasn't as interesting to me as the rest of the episode, but I still like actually seeing the original actor for Cole again, and I do actually hope he comes back permanently at some point. Not really for Davina's sake, I just want to see how he'd interact with his brothers again, so I do hope it happens at some point. I kind of think it will, but we'll see. We actually get a pretty good scene of Klaus giving his sympathies to Haley, who's sitting around where they buried Jackson. He gets her to help out with Aurora, and later on, Haley gives her attention to Cammy, and they basically end up sparring in the ring, and of course Haley schools Cammy left and right, but Cammy's like, oh, I have all these dark objects, so I don't really need to know how to defend myself physically because I can just stop anyone with this. And then Haley points out that it's only gonna, there's only gonna be a chance for that so many times before she'll actually have to take someone on, hand to hand. And it seems like Cammy gets a move or two in on Haley, but Haley still dominates her quite a bit. So hopefully when Cammy does get in some trouble, she's not, perfectly able already, but we'll see where it goes. I did sort of like Haley sort of taking it to Cammy as far as, how she's been acting lately and stuff, so I'm actually on Haley's side with all of this, so that works out. Let's see. Of course, Klaus and Elijah ended up finding a clue about where Aurora had taken Freya, and Klaus ends up finding a bunch of these little burial sites, or like graves that had been dug, to confuse him, or not confuse him, but sort of like take him a bunch of time as he tries to dig through every one of them to find Freya, who's bleeding out as she was shot by Aurora, so she's slowly dying. And Aurora and Elijah end up having a standoff. Of course, a part of this insecure Aurora's mind, still blames Elijah for, preventing this, incredible love her and Klaus have and stuff, but of course there's a lot more to that. It's not quite as much as she still thinks it is, apparently, so clingy much, I guess. Aurora has Elijah at gunpoint, saying how she wants to, have Klaus see Elijah killed in front of him, as revenge for, the fate they condemned Tristan to, as he keeps drowning over and over but never dying, as he's in the ocean somewhere. Cole is temporarily brought back, with that hand thing, sort of timing it all. He only give the information to Davina, and he warns Davina not to trust Aya or the Strix and things like that, saying they'll never keep their promises, it's always lies. But of course Davina's desperate to bring Cole back, and, just keeps on going. You know how it is. Let's see. Klaus ends up finding Freya. Of course, I told you about Elijah and Aurora conversations that were being had. Elijah almost gets shot by Aurora, but Freya actually has enough power in her in order to push the bullet off course and deflect it out of Elijah's way, which is pretty cool. Aurora runs off, and Klaus goes off to murder his ex, as he said. I wish that would actually happen in this episode. That would have been nice. And we find out the Strix actually need Haley's heart because she's, at this point in existence, the only vampire or hybrid heart that is not sired to like a Klaus or Elijah and things like that. So they need her. And eventually they realized they could also use Jackson in his grave, because when her and Haley were, when him and Haley were married, their hearts were sort of made into similar things. And so they feel like they can dig him up. And use his instead of trying to physically go after Haley and try to beat her down first, which would be a little bit more difficult. Klaus and Aurora sort of have a little physical tussle. And I felt like it was kind of weird that Aurora was able to defend herself against Klaus as well as she did. Again, I know that she's not, too much younger than the both of them, but I still feel like Klaus could, physically best her a little bit more easily than that. Like I've said before, I feel like they depower Klaus for the sake of the story sometimes, and this is sort of another instance of that for me. But, it wasn't bad or anything, and Elijah ends up getting shot with one of the white oak bullets that Aurora has, and we actually get a really good moment of Klaus refusing to leave Elijah, to try and dig it out himself. He actually chooses to make sure to save his brother before going after, someone he wishes such a dark fate upon. So I think that really says something about how strong their relationship as brothers still is. Even if we didn't know that, it's still good to see a example of that, from time to time. Let's see. Cam and Haley sort of fight off some witches that came after Haley together. But eventually they get a little bit overwhelmed. I told you about Klaus pulling the bullet out of Elijah. Marcel is able to stop Aya before she's able to get to Haley, and he makes a deal with her, and he's actually the one who ends up digging up Jackson's heart. And Klaus and Elijah they go to his body, but they find someone else took it, which was, of course, Marcel, as I said. And Marcel is still playing both sides again. I feel like he's still, he's still aligned with the Michelsons when it comes down to it, but now he's just playing way too close off to the other side, I think. It's still pretty frustrating to me. I don't really know. Let's see. We actually get a really nice touching scene between Klaus and Freya here. Klaus assuring Freya that she is a member of this family and that she means as much to him as a sister as the rest of his siblings do to him. So that's really nice. Again, I want more Freya. I want more scenes like this. I want scenes like this and scenes of Freya just being complete badass again, because I don't want them to waste her character. And I feel like they sort of have in this season, but this was a pretty good episode for her, I think. Minus the whole damsel in distress thing, but we talked about that already. And, her, Elijah, and Klaus bond, vowing to kill all of their enemies with each other. And at the end, Aya ends up making Aurora a deal, to work together, so that brings Aurora some pleasure, and we'll see how that goes with the Strix kind of now aligned with Aurora, so that's going to be double the trouble in one thing, really. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode overall. A pretty good one. I do think they're kind of dragging out the whole Aurora thing a little bit, but now it's starting to kind of merge into this one big threat with the Strix, so it could still go in a pretty good direction, I think. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode 2. Once again, I apologize for the lateness. It is what it is, though. Still happy I was able to do this for you guys today. So you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Movie Pilot, and lookrancefolda.com. I'll catch you guys next time. For the Walking Dead review tonight, I am going to be working when it actually airs. We'll have to watch the replay, which isn't going to be until 12:35 tonight, but I will watch it and get my review out to you guys as soon as I can. But again, it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.